What's going on, Black Curl? What's going on, Quiz the Prince, Rage Machine, She We Here, LOM, Bishop. Make sure y'all hit the like button upon coming in. TJ, what's going on? Because this is a conversation that we needed to have for a long time within the space. But let's do something productive with this actual issue. Because Mr. Fantastic has to understand the context behind what I'm talking about when I tell dudes to shut the fuck up about child support. All right. Now, what I don't want to get lumped into this conversation is dudes who've been married and they got a divorce or whatever. They're not part of the child support conversation because those are not the majority of people that's on child support who actually married their spouse before, after, attempted to make it work. Those are not the people that I'm talking about. Those are not the people that I'm talking about. What's going on, Ike? What's going on, Garfield Lawson? And I suggest all of you do the same thing that I've done. I've successfully not listened to this conversation in any shape, form, or fashion since like fucking 9/11. Now, before I actually got out of the military, because I was in from 96 to 2001. I got out right after 9/11. I think I was the last enlisted member to get out in the Air Force after 9/11 because they stop lost everybody. They tried to make you resign and shit. But one of my supervisors, and at the time, this was at my first base. This is when I was at Ramstein. And this is when this chief master sergeant was taking me through the dorms and showing me all of these dudes who couldn't live off base because they had a kid. Now, there was some people in the dorms on base who wife actually did leave them. Didn't matter what the rank was. You had like E8s and E9s still living in the dorm. Why? The wife left them. They end up on child support, and those dudes couldn't survive even having a one-bedroom apartment outside the situation. Those people, less than 1% of the people who was on child support who was in the dorm. What's going on, Iman Perry? What's going on, David Deacon Little? The grand majority of the personnel who were on child support were these dudes who claimed that they had women figured out. And not only did they not learn their lesson by having a kid out of wedlock, shooting a club up or whatever, but they were still trying to get with even more women after they'd even messed their life up, even with that situation. So I know what personnel that I'm talking about when we're talking about the child support conversation. And that's what my then chief said, don't ever listen to a man talk about child support unless he was married. Those are the only legitimate conversations about child support. The rest of these conversations, look at how these dudes move, look at how they act. They really haven't learned their lesson. And he was like, look, if they wanted access to their kids, they would be fighting for it. They wouldn't be complaining to you about it. They would be fighting for it. See, the complaints about child support and all that kind of shit is trauma bond bullshit online. There are people in this space who do have access, who got access to their kids. Off the top of my head, I'm gonna say Jay Shine is one of them, and I'm gonna say Ty City is the other. There are probably more than that in this space, I'm sure. But the child support issue is when you need to be definitely politically involved because no one else sees this as an issue except for men, black men to be specific. It's called spawn the primary. Now, you know the type of women that are out here that are in high number, very low quality. You know how quickly they can just walk out of a circumstance and just get an itch of the different dicks, and then they all of a sudden go to another situation, try to make that work. That don't work, go to another situation. There are no consequences for those type of things. But if you're the type of dude who can't live without sexual access, and you are unwilling to exercise the amount of discipline necessary to move yourself into higher quality people, this is a you problem. Don't get me wrong. I had older cousins who tried to put a significantly older woman on me at a fucking young age too. There were a bunch of my friends who ended up getting a woman pregnant in that situation, and they became stuck in Mississippi having to produce right away. That's some traumatic ass shit. Traumatic ass shit. Check getting hit every single time. Not enough money to survive on your own or buy a car or do anything. But that's because of the situation that you put yourself in. That's a you problem. And the grand majority of dudes complain about child support. That's what they own. They try to pick up a javelin and try to use that to poach a woman off the actual carousel. Oh, no, I can see you this time. I can see you this time, new. Oh, Bernard did too. Oh, okay, shout out to him for having access to his kid. Iman Perry, what's going on? New, what's going on? BMT, what's going on? Reggie. I do agree. So before I got interrupted, all right. So here's the thing. Let's start. Let's start with my youngest brother. My youngest brother did it right. My youngest brother was on child support in Mississippi. He got his actual shit changed to another state, and that's how he got access to his kids. But he got access to his kids, and this shit took a while. It took a while with it taking action. He wasn't complaining about the shit. He was taking action the entire time. He wasn't online trying to trauma bond with people on some fuck child support shit. Fuck you for being on child support. You know these women ain't shit. This is a you problem. If the dominant society is not fighting the child support system, then you need to be politically involved, more politically involved than anybody else. But like every other issue, most of these people want the issue to be resolved and fixed. Only thing they want to do is complain about it, and everybody else is supposed to do the work. That's not how it works. Oh, what's going on, AM1? I can't see him, but that's the thing. It takes action to get your kids back. Trauma bonding online with random people who don't live in your state that you live in, who don't live in your city that you live in, who ain't got no type of pressure that they can exert on the courts or the woman itself, that's not how this shit get fixed. You get fixed by taking action. So when I tell people to shut the fuck up about child support, it's shut the fuck up and go take some action about your specific situation. That's what the shut the fuck up part is about. It's about going to take action on your specific situation. I understand that a lot of dudes like, oh, he ain't got no. Oh, I'm like, dude, listen. What I talk about is action oriented based things. For all these people on child support and all these people who actually got custody of their kids, there should be a website already. A website that tells you per state the process of actually getting your kid, if it's possible. Because there's a lot of states, Mississippi is one of them, where you can't get access to your kids, no matter how horrible the woman is. They'd rather that kid get murdered in the custody of the damn mom, or even go to the actual state sponsored child abuse, which is what the child welfare system is. They would rather do that shit than give the child to the father. What's going on, BMT? If the person doesn't bring up a legal counsel that is in practice, they are just playing around. Exactly. That's what the shut the fuck up part is about. And yes, this legal counsel costs money that you ain't gonna spend. When people start hearing these complaints, like, all right, man, it's time for to put you on the clock, because most of these complaints about child support is a financial issue. But you expect the entire society to notice that you are being wronged by the circumstance that you're in, but you ain't taking no actual action to get yourself out of the situation. And complaining online isn't going to be able to help you out with these issues. And talking to other people who quote unquote feel your pain, that shit ain't going to help you with this issue either. This is a legal matter, a personal legal matter. And you need to go and solve your personal legal matter. If you was interested in solving your actual situation with this child support shit, you would already have a day in court. Or you would already be saving up your money so that way you can talk to somebody to get your day in court. This isn't a public problem that everybody needs to know about. Is it a situation that everybody can be in? Yeah. But what happens when you have men who don't even politically organize for any other type of power? This is something that you can actually organize around. But if the dominant society isn't trying to solve this issue, and you ain't trying to mess with better fucking women, then who's to feel sorry for you when you end up in this circumstance? I guarantee you this year in the manosphere, given all this red pill knowledge and so-called bullshit about female nature, I guarantee you got newly minted child support niggas right now within this space, suffering the consequences right now within this space because they couldn't control their dick. And they wanted to blame the woman for not staying with them to save them from the consequences that they knew she was going to give them in the first place. What's going on, Soul Provider? What's going on, Doug? Boom. That's exactly what my brother did. He moved to the Midwest because, like, all right, well, let me tell my brother's story, right? His baby mama was in Mississippi. That's where he got her ass pregnant, right? He lived in the Midwest. Like, when he was going to court, like, my brother kept excellent records of everything. I'm talking about he Western Union her money. He what's the other shit? Money grammed her money every time he needed some shit. He had excellent records. But in Mississippi, the actual judge was like, "Oh, okay, those are gifts. That doesn't count." So he had to keep paying even more and more money. We're talking about legal effery right here, right? So what my brother did, because he talked to somebody, right? And he was like, "Man, look, move to another state. So he moved to another state where she had to come to court over the same issues. The dude got his kid back. Joint custody, just like the dude said, joint custody. Once he had the joint custody piece, because he went about it with, I'm financially stable, the kid can come live with me, and in that state, they take into account the entire history, and that's what they base it off of. Again, he was complaining about this shit over and over again. I just like, look, bro, I don't want to hear about this child support shit. You know, the woman that you had a kid with wasn't shit. She ain't shit today. After she had a kid with him, she had three other kids with three other dudes. Now she got two sets of grandparents, two sets of aunts and uncles, two sets of all that shit, a new dude, these dudes paying child support, and the government who's going to help her out. If you don't get all the way the fuck out of my face with trying to make me, a person who's not a part of this situation, listen to a person like you who is in this situation, man, get on with that. Remember, your whole masculinity was based on the fact that you just got to have access to this fucking woman. This is part of the access piece, the part where you want to discard the actual situation. But yeah, that's a discard cost to this, and that's part of it. Yeah, you ain't got the money. You got to have the money to fight this. Yep. They expect for the actual society to be more fair rather than them to go actually solve their own issue and problem. Well, I'll drop the link, Mr. Fantastic. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. No, 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 no. Some married men are on child support, dude. Some of them are on child support. They are. If they broke off their situation, there's some type of divorce happened, they are on child support. My brother's on child support for that reason. So that's the circumstance that married people can be on child support. Black Avenger. That's why I say that it's a statewide issue of where you at. You got to be able to have the money to change your situation from one to another, and this is a personal problem. This is not a societal issue. Shit, my uncle was white. This motherfucker was paying child support on all these type of kids. That dude wasn't going around talking about changing shit. he just he just paid for the actual women that he got pregnant and the kids that he didn't want to fucking take care of, and that was just the end of it. Yeah, what's going on, Jay Sean? But I'll drop the link so that way we can have a conversation about this specific issue. So that way we can build a repository for this information. So that way we're not holding up the process of the manosphere for the child support complaint crew. Because we don't need to be focused on issues that people are clearly not working on. Because if you're not clearly not working on this issue, you ain't got no day in court. And maybe you did have your day in court and you just fucked because the court decided that you was not gonna get access to your kids, then there ain't shit else you could do about it but complain about it. Again, another reason why why need to be something that you don't need to talk about. What's going on, fantastic? What's going on, man?
Yo, what up with you, bro?
All right, man. So to shut the fuck up, like there's another half of the argument. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. I'm sorry about that. All right, sorry about that. I'm in line. All right. So it's like this. We know that talking to random people online is not going to solve the child support issue. Can we agree on that at least?
No, no, we can't.
Okay. The only reason, or the only way you're going to be able to get your kid is that you're going to have to go fight for it. Can we at least agree on that?
I agree. I agree with that premise. Yes.
All right. So, all right. So let's start the conversation over. So, where do you think I was wrong in what I said?
Well, first of all, bro, shout out, man. Appreciate you for actually having the conversation. Hey, it's one thing that can't ever say about you, bro. You always willing to have the conversation whenever you say something. So appreciate that. Again, I used the clip from whatever Erica. I actually saw this on Erica's IG. So
Yeah.
your premise of starting off with a couple of things where like, do you even understand that child support and custody are two separate things?
Yes, I do. But they're all,
Okay.
but they're both processes that most of these people are not engaging in. I do
Well, no,
understand that too.
well, that's not true. Like, and because, like I said, just like they're two separate things, they're dependent upon each other, right? So the amount of child support you pay is directly in reference to the amount of custody and time you have with your child. Okay,
Yes.
so
Yes, I
so
do understand that part of it.
so usually what happens is this: most men do not know and they're not aware of the law, especially now. So now the one of the major linchpins or issues is that child support family law was originally meant for married people. But now that times have changed, you're applying something that was meant for the institution of marriage to non-married people. So most dudes go into the situation as to where they're cohabitating, they're in a long-term relationship, and so on and so forth. They can be living with these women, but lo and behold, hey, you move on, you live your life or whatever, and things don't work out. Like the most majority of relationships don't work out. And once you move on, now you just, ain't crap dude, la la la, whatever, the woman puts you on child support. When the woman goes to put you on child support, now you're like you said, your brother's situation, right? Perfect example. Those were gifts. Those were gifts. The state has an invested interest, bro, in hitting you across the head for as much money as possible. You being a
Correct.
good father, you being involved in that child's life, but with long as you don't have that parental thing set up, any type of paternal right set up, which again most men don't know about, and this is why the discourse and talking about it online actually does help. That's what I'm
How?
trying to tell you. Because you're making men aware of something that they had no knowledge of and
Yeah,
still
but
don't
this is
have
a
this knowledge.
personal responsibility issue of not knowing the laws and the rules within the state that you're in.
But
It's
that's
like,
everybody, MOT. MOT, you know how many laws that we break on the daily and brother and don't know?
yeah, as for my law, yeah, I'm very, very well aware.
All right, so that's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying. So that's about something that really you won't have to pay a penalty for, or you'll never really be have to literally pay for. But when you start talking about something as serious as becoming a parent and having a child, to where now you're not only responsible for yourself, but you're responsible for the well-being, the upbringing, and the financial, emotional, mental, spiritual, all this caring for another whole human life. This is
Yeah.
totally different. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Even police officers don't know this stuff, bro. That's what I'm
No,
saying.
I know they don't. I know they don't.
So
I used
so
to see this shit all the time.
so this is
Like
what I'm
I know
saying.
they don't know.
So being that you this is what I'm saying. So of course the brother the whether it be responsible dick use or irresponsible dick use, bro, child support's not going anywhere because this is the $1 billion industry. These judges that hand down these things, judges and magistrates that hand down these judgments, their pensions and the stuff for the state and all this other stuff get to suck away from this child support fund, brother. All right. So again, this is why the man can have evidence of this woman being neglectful. He can have evidence of this woman being on drugs. He have evidence of all these different things. And again, he still won't get custody of his kid. All right. He can pay tens of thousands of dollars. He can pay all the money he wants to pay, and he still not get custody of his kids, regardless of how much he pays, regardless of what he do. Now, when you start talking about the legislative part of it, man, they got a thing
Yes.
coming down here in Florida. Florida had Ron DeSantis as the governor did this. This wasn't even some stuff where you had a whole bunch of lobbyists and stuff or whatever. He wanted to set a precedent and change the whole thing as far as like fathers being able to get. I think fathers, if you are the father now, it's no longer going to be that separation. It's going to be one and the same. Okay. Are other states going to follow suit? Possibly. But are the majority of states going to follow it? No, they're not. Because now, again, you start cutting away from that money and you taking away the whole possibility of, okay, well, arrearage, and then you didn't even mention arrearages. You know what I'm saying? Most people don't know how the arrears game works, and how that's one of the biggest
Most
one of
people
the
start
biggest
off in the arrears. Actually, by the way, my brother, like most of the people that I know, they start off in the rears.
is and
All of them
MOT.
did.
So MOT, that's what I'm saying. So again, I'm only going by the clip from what Erica had on the thing. You know a lot more about this than what it was revealed that you knew through the clip. So hey,
Yeah.
I apologize for that, for you being knowledgeable. All right. So
No, no,
actually,
no.
all about
It's like that's why we having a conversation and not yelling and screaming back and forth.
yeah,
So that way
cool,
we can
cool.
reset the conversation. So that way I know a lot of more about the system, but at the end of the day, you just gotta not have kids. That's why I'm 40 something without kids because I
Okay, so
don't want to trust these motherfuckers at
okay,
all.
and this is what I'm saying, and that's your right, right? But that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
So, but yeah, that's your choice as an individual man. Your choice as an individual man. You can't put that on the next man, and you can't penalize and say the for the majority of cases when again we've been proven whether that woman is black, whether she's white, whether she's Asian, whether she's Hispanic, whether she's ain't shit chick, whether she's a chick that's about some shit. You start telling her, you start giving her these numbers that she's able to take advantage of, bro. Most women are going to do it. Okay, it's not just the Keishas and the the bottom barrel where bitches is out here putting niggas on child support. That's not the case, man. It's brothers that again, like you said, end up
No,
and be,
I know. Like my brother definitely does but he moved to another state, and that's how he kind of got the shit done. Because
but
it wasn't gonna be happening in Mississippi. Is not is probably the worst state in the union where you're trying to get access to your kids. Mississippi have a vested interest in making sure that kid don't become not shit in life. They will keep that kid in that household. They will they will bro. Listen, man, they'll send that kid off to foster care before they even let the man have sole custody of the child like that. So it's
thank
like,
you.
look, but also what I'm saying on top of that is we got to be smart enough not to keep putting ourselves in this situation.
But I agree with
Like,
that wholeheartedly. Listen, I'm for being, discipline is paramount. That's key. That's of course that's always going to be important. The
but she
fact
can't
that
turn the corner on you too. That's the other half of it too.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's what happened to me with my first baby mama. Me and my first kids, I had twins, bro. Now, first off, the chick stole my, what I'm saying, got pregnant on purpose, stopped taking birth control, so on and so forth, blah blah blah. Everything's going good. This wasn't like 2 months in, 3 months in. This is a whole year into our relationship, bro. You know what I'm saying? This is a 21-year-old me versus 39 something now. But now this is why I say it's important to have these conversations. A part of the child support conversation is me telling the people that story and letting these young cats know, hey, bro, don't ever take that what I'm saying, that plastic off, because she can play the long game. She'll be around and she can see that you're a promising up and coming guy. You know what I'm saying? You got a good head on
Yes.
your shoulders, all these different things, and then lo and behold, now, oh, I'm pregnant. So that's what I'm saying, man. We say we got to stop talking about this stuff, man. MOT, bro, you elected to be a teacher, dog. You are real nigga life, nigga graduate level classes. This is what this is. And it's like when we start saying, oh well, you shouldn't talk about this, you shouldn't talk about that, you shouldn't talk about this, you shouldn't talk about that. You're cutting off a lot of things, man, because again, it's gonna be new young brothers out here every day. It's gonna be a new boy becoming a man every day, bro. So when
All
we
right.
say why do we keep having the conversation, bro? You gonna keep having it. And I don't know who the child support channel is. I don't know if it was even reference to a person or whatever, because I don't even claim to be a child support channel. But whenever the
No, no,
family
no,
law
no.
thing comes, my man, go ahead.
All right. So what I'm saying is, all right. So there's two different things here. So how do we go from mass broadcasting one situation over and over again? So how do we take it from the issues of the child support system to let's fucking go do something about this shit? So let's get to the how do we do something about this? Like or else is there like because I don't know your situation, but like my brother like I said, Mississippi is the worst. They moved to a place to where actually the court officer would because I wouldn't call him a judge or her a judge. Um,
Yeah, that's another thing. Most cases like this are handled by magistrates. They don't even really get to see a judge. A judge
yeah,
signs off on it, but it's handled by a magistrate. But go ahead.
but it's like okay, so how do we get from all right? We need like a repository of like information. Like, okay, rather than us having these stories over and over again, we be like, look, if you're ever in this situation, this is what you do to go over it and through it. Because there needs to be like some repository of information for people who actually did it right. Because some situations you just fucked and you ain't gonna be able to do shit about it, right? I do understand that, but how do we go from the conversations online? Because my cousins keep trying to talk to me about this shit too. Like as soon as they start talking to me about a bitch, click. I hang up the goddamn phone. I don't want to hear this shit. But how do we get like a repository of information from 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 places in situations where individuals have gotten their actual kids? Like I don't see like the Ty City documentary. I don't see the Jay Shine kind of documentary, but I do hear people who are going through hell. I do hear like the good dudes who are going through hell over their kids or whatever. But so how do we get from the stories of people being fucked over to the actual actions of, okay, I'm in a situation, I'm screwed for now. These are the actions that I'm gonna take. So how do we get to there?
Well, that's what I'm saying, man. That's the problem. I don't think people understand and realize. Like you said, right? Mississippi is one of the highest things for child support judgment or something like that. I was just looking it up earlier today, right? And
Yeah,
we know
yeah,
that one of the states that make the highest amounts of money off child support is Texas. So the problem with what you're having is, I know what if a dude's in Florida, hey, I can help you. I can give you all the information and stuff you need. But even though Florida touches Georgia and Alabama, Mississippi, all this different stuff, bro. Those are all different states and different family law, even different verifications and all these different things. So that's
yeah,
what I'm saying, bro. It's really not an answer to it as to where it's going to be unless you have a person per thing, right? A person per area, state, or whatever for you to get that answer. And even still in that situation, okay, well, the woman you're dealing with, okay, how is this woman temperament? Is she cooperating? Is she being non-cooperative? Okay. Is she a good mom? Is she a bad mom? Is she broke? Does she have money? You know what I'm saying? It's so many variables, bro. So like I said, it's no blanket answer to get to the wondrous answer of fixing it, as you say. Now I'm not saying you just sit back, complain and complain and complain and never do anything about it. First and most importantly, the most important thing would be do what you can do from your, you know what I'm saying, from your situation. File the paperwork. I will file the paperwork myself versus going to retain a lawyer and wasting $1,500 or however many thousands of dollars just for them to, sit down and talk to you and then rake you over the coals and drain all this money out of your pocket for, copies of papers and, 30 minutes of work to go down to the actual courthouse. I would tell you to get the ball moving yourself before you started to decide to hire an attorney, okay, or retain an attorney. Um, on top of that, then you have to start getting into the books and learning yourself. When we start talking about the congressional part or the lobbying and all this stuff, bro, lobbying is not going to work. There's not going to be anything you're going to be able to do on a federal level for child support. It's been tried. Okay. It's been tried. It's been tried. And it's not going to happen. Why? Because even if they pass something federally, each state is going to be able to say, hey, well, we're not going to do it this way. We're going to do it that way. And then, like I said, we started talking about it. You really know about family court. Family court is even separate, really outside of the regular court, civil and or criminal. So family court is its own different, totally set aside institution when it comes to law, even from normal law. So that's what I'm saying, man. It's so many variables in this thing. There are a lot of people that don't deal with it, or you don't have to worry about the headache of ever having to navigate it. Fully understand the depths of it. And what I'm saying is, the stuff you guys are suggesting, bro, is just not realistic, bro.
no,
Like I said, Amazon is never gonna start giving away free free merchandise, dog. That's basically what you're telling these states to do when you're talking about being able to lobby somehow and to get rid of, billions upon billions of dollars of revenue that's, what I'm saying, goes to whatever. That and bro, child support is one of the most unregulated things and track or whatever, bro. This is why they tried and they suggested somewhere up. I forget where it was. They were suggesting possibly, doing child support cards or whatever to track what the women were paying for it. And that shit
yes,
never made it off the ground. It never made it off the ground for a reason. Because again, if you start justifying it that these women are misappropriating funds, what does that happen? All right, that takes away the money from the state because you can say, hey, this person is not using the funds what they're meant to be used for. So now either one or two things going to happen. Either you're going to stop having to pay the funds because it's being illegally used, or they're gonna have to give the kid to the dad, and now the state's never gonna be able to touch that money because the dad doesn't need child support, or even if he does need child support, it's not gonna be as much because the woman's not gonna make as much as the man, or the woman's just not gonna pay it anyway. And that's another whole part of it too, where you have these women that are ordered to pay child support that have lost custody more likely than not of their kids, and they're not doing their parts, and they aren't held to the same standard as men. So
Yeah,
again,
yeah,
man,
but that's a judicial issue. That's a judicial issue. Like
Right.
like like with enough public pressure with anything, you can be able to get somebody locked up, or else you can open an inquiry or investigation. But it's like, I understand there's a financial incentive for the state, but there's a financial disincentive for the people who actually live in the actual locale. So the people should be actually organizing to like overturn this. And you can't overturn it as a singular person. Even though it's a singular person, you know how these cases work. They use the most messed up person singular case to actually make a broad decision. But I'm just saying the action portion isn't there. Like, we're not gathering people together. Like me, I don't have kids, but I do understand how fucked up this situation is, and I don't know how to fix it other than to tell people just to not really be in this situation, and then it's kind of up to the woman whether or not she wants to put this dude through hell or not. And it's like, if we know this stuff has been this way for a while, it didn't just get this way. But a lot of people are in this situation. They're not putting the money down. They're not doing anything except for just looking at their check and looking at the minus coming out of the check and making it everybody else's problem. Like, it just ain't. It can be an issue that everybody goes through, but you can't say these people are just taking all this action. I don't see no action being taken. That's my point. No, there's no action that's being taken here to
well,
stop yourself from being in this situation.
But can I step in this real quick?
All right, go ahead, Armstrong. Go ahead, man.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to step in this. First of all, I am a man that was able to get my child ever since she was 6 months old and she just graduated with her master's degree. This was in the state of New York. I didn't have to hire a lawyer. I actually had a court-appointed lawyer that was able to do these things for me. I have been an advocate for trying to help men. No one wanted to come and talk to me. They rather talk about the dating profiles. I am somebody that could have helped to navigate through not only state court situations, because in the state that I live in now, it doesn't work the same way that you're describing it. This is why this is a state issue. State cannot override federal. You have to change the state level, and that's how you change it in your state. Then it becomes national. That's number one. Number two, the way that you got to fight situations is through documentation and paperwork. Things has changed since I was able to get full custody of my daughter. Full custody. I did every single thing my lawyer told me to do. Made sure I document. I had my lawyer. We went in. We got it. 6 months later, we left New York. So I'm trying to tell you, if this happened for me 28 years ago, dude, things has totally changed since that time. Since that time. So what I'm saying is, if men really want their children or they want to be involved, then there are avenues that you ain't even got to pay in order to get that done. See, the question becomes, are we willing to put in the work? Number one, on a legislative level. Two, on a personal level. And when I'm looking at the politics, I don't even see black men voting. Dude, they screamed for almost 6 months in this manosphere argument about what's that chick named down in Georgia?
Stacey Abrams.
Right.
Stacey.
Screamed about her. Oh, look at what she did. Da, 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 da. Men lie, women lie, the numbers don't lie. More black men voted for Stacey Abrams than black women voted for Stacey Abrams. How do we explain that?
Yeah, but Uncle Stu, shout out, bro. Respectfully, again, this is what I'm saying. You guys You guys, brother, how okay, like you said, so listen to what you just said, right? Okay,
Yeah.
let's just start from the Stacey Abrams part, okay? How many people in that even listen to this in this sector listen to this from Georgia? So the only men that are actually going to be able to affect it are going to be the men that live in Georgia and can vote in Georgia. See what I'm saying? So this is a major problem and issue I have with how this space, a congregate of black men always get blamed for everything. Like, what are you talking about, bro? I'm
No,
not. Listen, if I was able to vote in Georgia, brother, Stacey Abrams would not get my vote. But I
yeah,
can't affect the vote in Georgia because I don't live in Georgia and I'm not registered to vote there.
yeah,
So
no, no, I was only using that as a what they call. I don't want to use the word ad hominem. Just an example.
example, analogy. I feel you, but that's what I'm saying though. But your analogy really exposes a much bigger issue and problem.
Right.
And shout out to you, brother. Shout out to you, brother, for having that triumph, man, and congrats to your daughter and whatnot, what have you, all these different things. But then too, like you said, man, I'm telling y'all, it's not just that simple as to the point of where it worked for me. So why wouldn't it work for you? Bro, you can give me two men, the same dimensions and whatever. I put them both in the gym, bro. They're not gonna grow muscle the same. They're not. Okay, they're not.
What I'm saying to you is what because MOT admitted he don't have kids. He knows me personally, so he knows my story. And what I'm saying to you is, I'm here as an advocate to help men get through that situation and win that situation. The question is, where are they?
And brother, again, I've been in that same thing. I've offered. It was one brother that hit me up, man, and had some information. And brother, if you out there, he was hitting me up. We was talking, so on and so forth. But then I got ready to start going on deployment. So whatever, and I hopefully got through the situation. But I mean, a few dudes, man, very very few that reached out and actually say it, man. Again, niggas are paid to get finesse. Niggas are paid to get, you know what I'm saying, whatever. But when it comes to actually information and stuff that can help you, bro, niggas don't even want it for free. So the best thing that was told to me is, man, hey, make niggas pay for it and make them invest, and they'll actually, reach out to you, so on and so forth, because you are right. One thing that niggas don't want to do, man, is come to somebody that gave you the blueprint. Bro, I can pull up my paperwork and give it to anybody, public records, to see everything, how I structured everything. I can walk you through the process and tell you everything I did. And like you said, a lot of these dudes don't. So hey, I'm not gonna make you though. Listen, I'm not gonna make you accept my help, nigga. I'm not finna look for people to help. I'm not doing that. If you come to me, I can help you, but I'm not about to go out here looking for fucking people to help. At the same time,
fantastic. Hey man, look, man, congratulations for actually getting it done. Like that's what I'm saying, man. Is pushing people from this trauma bonding and complaint type situation to this is what I did to get this shit done. If you're gonna do this shit and you're gonna get it done, like we need to be a hell of a lot more action oriented on a state by state basis. Like I said, I know the Mississippi situation and when he went to the Midwest, how that shit actually changed. We need like a repository of that. Like Stu got his shit from New York. We need a repository of how that battle went. Jay Shine got his. I'm not sure what state he was. Ty City. I hope. I mean, he in Texas, but I'm not sure whether he went to another state to even get his kid. So what I'm saying is that we need to be able to separate the dudes who just want to actually just talk about the issue and not do shit about it, and people who actually won like yourself, won like Uncle Stu, and all that. Like that's what I want to go to. But let me get BMT in here because he's been here for a while, patiently waiting. What's going on, BMT? What's going on, man?
What's going on, everybody? Respect to everyone. Fantastic. Stu, MOT.
What up?
So definitely.
I heard
So this is definitely an issue that we're having going on with the family court. And sadly, a lot of black men are not they're not properly taught in how to go. Well, first off, they have a fear of the court. They have a fear of going in there and actually filing. They think that once they hear family court, they start running, skipping, hiding. Y'all seen it already happen. They stop giving. They drop all communication rather than actually go down there. And that's a big issue. When I was in the military, I've seen a lot of my soldiers, man, this girl saying I'm pregnant, man. I'm a blocker. No, don't do that. Don't do that. You need to go find this situation. Let's get down there. I can gladly say I helped already over 20 men get their children back in their home. I can gladly, proudly say that and point to these men and their children that they take and walk to school or they've seen walk across the aisle for graduation. Black men, you got to stop being afraid of that. I've even had it where a woman had hit me up and said, "Hey, I got a baby by you while I am married," and said, "Hey, this is your baby. You need the state of Georgia is filing for child support." I drove right down there and I contested it myself. And I said, the child's not mine. But the thing about it is a lot of men do not properly do the groundwork. I agree with you on that one, Stu. A lot of men do not actually do the groundwork. And on the point that Fantastic made about their studying the due diligence, you know what I'm saying? There's a calculator. There's a calculator that the mediator will sit down with you and go over the finances and all of this stuff. Before y'all even see a judge, you will see there's a mediator. There's a mediator that you can talk to. But a lot of men don't go there and actually start doing the paperwork. Now, when it comes about that of federal versus state, it is that of a local level. It is at a local level that a lot of men, they keep saying federal. No, you got to go to the statewide, because the federal can say one thing, as we already seen with abortion. State can say something different. So
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Roe v. Wade, Stu had it backwards respectfully, bro. Again, the states can choose not to go along with whatever federal puts down.
Right. And that's the thing about it, where a lot of brothers, I'm like, yo, have y'all gone down to like y'all county? Have y'all gone down there to y'all district? Like, you need to go down there, because that's where your money is going to go, towards that district of that state, and they're going to start making the rule. But the thing about it is, it's like when you start talking about, hey, man, like, you got to know the proper judges that you are electing, right? The proper judges that you're electing for these type of things. Find out what's their background on these type of talking points. And, and Sally, we don't do the type of, I pay for the people that I want in office for my benefit. I know people say, nah, we don't need to do all that. These guys work free. Nobody in politics works for free. Nobody in politics works for free. They cost money. And so you're going to have to put the people that you want to see in office that are going to benefit you. Now, are men now having a choice in some areas to get their children? Yes, they are. Yes, they are. And actually, there's a lot of judges now starting to relook at some of these cases of these women and these accusations. Now, the problem is men are not keeping the pay stubs, the receipts. They're not taking pictures of the housing. The courts look at all of this said stuff. You know what I'm saying? I tell the brother, hey, bro, you want your child? You got to go get at least a 2 or 3 bedroom apartment. Why I need that? Bro, you got to have a place for your child to lay their head, man. These things come into play when it comes to getting your child. Like, you got to have these kind of things together, and you got to start changing up your frame. I agree with Stu from how my dad handled his stepson. He got his kid back. He got his kid and beat the woman, and that was in Massachusetts. Like, these things right here, man, brothers are serious when they start talking about paperwork and actual legal financial literacy. If they're not talking about that, they're not serious. And that's honestly what it comes down to on the family court level, man. Family court's a whole different ball game. You can't confuse that with the other courthouses. They don't roll the same.
You're absolutely right, because what everybody has to understand, and that's why I was saying things are changing. They are caring more about the welfare of the child. This is about the child. So if you, as a male, like I had a 2-bedroom apartment. That proved that I can not only have my child, but it also she can have her own room. So it wasn't, now, at the time I had a 2-bedroom and she was with me, but they understood that I was able to handle it. Why? Because there was still a 2-bedroom apartment. And you're talking about state of New York, the state that they claim is the most liberal of the 50 states. You understand? I mean, if you want to talk about feminism, hey, that's the state of feminism. And men was not only able to get their child, but they was able to get child support. You understand? But there was work that I had to do on my side.
All right. So I want to thank Lil Rock for the Cash App. So how do we come to, like, together to be like, okay, so we got Jay Shine for Virginia, we got you, Uncle Stu for New York. Fantastic. What state was it for you?
Florida.
Florida. So should we just come together and put a site together about these are the steps that they went through in these states and kind of get that done throughout the whole 50 states, if it's even possible?
Well,
To
believe it, I'm in Virginia now, and that's working the same way for my son. I'm not saying that they going through anything, but he got all the information he needs. So, that's why I say this is a state level to do it. What you're saying, again, Virginia changed their laws. So a woman can't just grab a child and say it's mine. You got to fight in court for that. That's married or non-married. So I think in order to do it, you got to find out what the state laws is. That's why I say it's a state issue. And I understand what Fantastic's talking about, but in this regard, it's really a state issue because Virginia is totally different than, say, New York or North Carolina. You know what I'm saying? So we really got to know what's going on in your individual state. And that's the only way you can really change anything.
But that's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm talking about. We start bringing up the lobbying argument for, child support specifically. You're not going to have 50 different lobbyists, or you're not going to have enough teams to be able to lobby every different state. That's the point I was really trying to make when we start talking about legislation. The legislation thing for child support is going to be extremely, extremely difficult. There have been some things that have been passed. But again, like you said, I remember the guy, I don't remember what his name is, the dude in Georgia that took the case to I think it made it to the Supreme Court, or definitely know it made it to the federal level. Even though he got it passed at the federal level, he had to come back to the state for the state to acknowledge it. So he literally challenged this up and he took it to appeal, and they held up his appeal and said what he said made sense. He still had to have it retried in the state of Georgia, and them hear it in order to apply it to the thing. So again, man, I'm not for just, whining, crying and complaining and just talking either. I understand that. But again, man, another big part of this you guys don't understand, bro, is the actual parenthood and fatherhood element of it, brother. This stuff ain't just you going against the court system. This stuff ain't just, filing paperwork and talking to a judge or a magistrate or even dealing with attorneys, bro. It's parental alienation. It's, women, once you get the thing being filed, bro, the woman not complying with the court order. This stuff is so multi-layered, man. So when you guys just reduce it to the child support issue, the child support, brother, is just a part of the whole of it. Now, some brothers are blessed and fortunate to have women that are cooperative and don't, take them down through there. Yes, but, that's minority, man. A lot of this conversation when it starts coming up are brothers that are, man, going through serious issues and, as parents, as fathers, and, rekindling or trying to even establish positive, healthy relationships with their children, man. Have their children love them and respect them as their father because they've been turned against them and used as pawns in the system. So again, man, my whole point is, bro, like the child support thing, bro, is extremely, extremely, extremely deep issue. Again, it's not just black men, but men in general. But when we start having these conversations, saying, well, why are you niggas talking about this, and why we just on the internet complaining, bro? That's again, man. I don't think you guys understand the service and the importance that you serve to some of these brothers out here, man. I have brothers call me up, man, and tell me, hey, man, you really, really helped me out. Hey, brother, I'm going through something, whatever, just to talk and vent, man. This place is, once you pick this microphone up, once you decide to turn that camera on and go live, man, hey, you are making yourself and putting a lot of responsibility on yourself, man, whether you know it or not. So that's what I'm saying, man. We start saying and we start limiting the conversations of saying, why are we talking about this? Why are we talking about that? Hey, man, you have no idea who and how you helping a brother, bro. And I'm telling you, some of this stuff goes deeper, far deeper, bro, than just conversation.
Well, so, I'm just, Fantastic. I have two platforms, and this one right here, I no longer use. I have a whole new platform, and my platform is Fatherly Advice with Uncle Stu because that's all I deal with. I'm not. No one wanted to talk to me when it came to relationships. They rather just talk about that. Me, I got a backstory. You know what I'm saying? And I've been through the not child support, child custody issue. And I've been married, divorced, remarried, living, as many people would say, living my best life. You know what I'm saying? I had to get off of one platform and I created a whole different platform. So my platform is about fatherly advice, is dealing with more productivity and dealing with just real issues. You know what I'm
So
saying?
so the thing about it is this, and you asked a good question on that. Fantastic. Um, and I'm not doxing the system that there's a brotherhood of men group already. They're not big, but they are out there already, and I've worked with them a few times. Um, and they run a calculator, just like if y'all know how the Social Security calculator works, where it factors in all of your bills and everything. But it has to do that by each state. You would have to build something like that. Now the problem is those brothers do it for free, and they're not compensated. You would need a server or an algorithmic server. You understand what I'm saying? That would actually have to factor in uh, the money, the family court calculator. Yes, there's a calculator, gentlemen, about that of the household finances, the state of how much they can garnish and different stuff like that. You would need that kind of calculator to actually start looking at that. Because when they go to the courthouse, the judge starts going down the number. If you ask any of these men that have been up here, I've been in there. They start asking for numbers. They don't ask about. That's the main thing. How much you make, what you do, what can you do, how much can you provide. They start asking about numbers. So they're going by that of the state calculator that they're running through. So you would need that same server algorithm system to work. Mind you, we got a lot of brothers who know how to work computers. So you would have to go get them brothers and say, hey, man, like we would need you to go to all those states, and I don't necessarily go by U.S. territories, but by the states alone. And you would have to actually factor in those algorithms, as well as also have a history of certain court cases, because yes, court cases do matter, that you can bring up in your case if you would like to actually fight your case. So would that, and to be fair to Low Diffit, that type of program system to run that would literally run you at least about 5 racks or more. You understand? Like and I'm giving y'all an actual answer to what y'all saying. Like you're going to need at least about 5 racks or more to run that type of program, have somebody keep it going and updating it. And I mean, I don't know how much the family courts update. I know I can say for South Carolina, that thing updates every 3 months. So you would literally have somebody working at least about 5 days out of the week updating that damn server. Like they would have to keep it update, and that phone would always be running like the welfare office. So I'm not sure how far. That's where it feels like it's a impossible mountain to climb, because that's a lot of discipline to just keep that type of thing going. Versus that of the individual, they have to want to actually pursue the case, and if they don't want to pursue the case, then that kind of changes up everything. So you would need that type of calculator to actually challenge the contesting of getting the child, which a lot of men, Sally, y'all are minority. A lot of y'all black men are minorities, because a lot of men these days, they say they want the child, but they don't fight for the child as they could. I know that sounds controversial, but a lot of men, they don't fight for their kid, man. It's like, if I got to just pay it, go about my business, they'll do that, versus actually try to get their child. That's a different bracket to go down. So, yeah.
Well, let me say this for Jay Sean hop in. Listen, man. I gotta address you lame ass chat niggas, bro. Nobody claimed to be a therapist, and that's y'all's fucking problem. You main niggas talking about y'all niggas think y'all therapists, nigga. Nobody even used that term. Y'all keep using all of this shit, man, in a negative, when again, this is supposed to be about black men coming together for positive shit, regardless of whatever it's gonna be, nigga. Your mental health is a part of you as a man, brother. No matter how much you want to try and alpha your way through it, nigga. You out here motherfucking doing any and everything. A lot of you niggas eating pork and beans, living out your car, nigga, and taking a motherfucking shower at the gym. All right, while you in the chat talking about y'all niggas think you therapists, and that's what the fuck you need to keep you from motherfucking killing your damn self. So please stop with the fake bullshit. Don't nobody claim to be none of that, bro. I'm not one of these niggas. You niggas are out here, bro. This the thing about it, and this is what I really hate. You got niggas out here, bro, that's charging you niggas thousands of dollars to tell you how to get lame bitch pussy. Like, come on, bro, stop playing with me. So this is why I don't respect, and I don't even take most of you niggas serious, because the niggas that really be grifting and getting off and getting over on niggas with money, and for courses or whatever the fuck it may be, bro. I ain't never charged for one course, bro. All right. And like I said, shout out to Little Rock. Like I said, bro, I done beat child support. I done beat custody. I done beat divorce. Okay. I'm undefeated, nigga. Okay. All myself. I ain't had to hire a lawyer for nothing. Okay. I saved 50% up to, I ain't gonna say 50%, but up to 50% of my retirement, guy. Okay. I was able to fucking negotiate that and get that shit did on my end, on my own. Okay. So I ain't never need a lawyer for nothing. When it comes to this court shit, bro, I'm the MJ of this shit. All right. Family court, nigga, I'm MJ. All right. But at the same time, you niggas are talking about nobody's trying to be a therapist, bro. But if you have not been a father, okay, if you a kidless nigga, bro, okay, you don't have children, shut the fuck up, because you don't know what's going on. You've never had to, you know what I'm saying, try and talk to your child, man, and bring your child off the ledge of not even want to have a conversation with you because the mom done turned the kid against you. So like I said, man, y'all niggas, bro, if you don't got kids, just don't listen. Okay, you don't care about child support, and child support doesn't affect you, my nigga. Just go somewhere else when the child support conversation comes up. Again, even Mr. Palmer. Mr. Palmer does the thing. Mr. Palmer don't even talk about fucking child support every day. I know fuck child support is his thing, but I don't even know who talks about child support on the daily like that. So that's why I'm just saying, bro, like I said, this affects a whole lot of men, you know what I'm saying, but this is a black man space as to where, bro, it shouldn't be an issue and problem as to when it comes up, and whatever length or depth that it goes into, man, let it go into that, because somebody's gonna get something valuable from it, and somebody's gonna learn something from it and need it.
No, I wanted to address that Mr. Edric thing.
Benson, let's
My
let
bad.
Jay Sean get in here, man. Jay Sean, what's going
What's
on,
going
man?
on, bro?
What's up, y'all? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Good to see you, MOT, my man
What's going on,
BMT.
man?
What's up? Fantastic. It's been a long time.
What's going on, J-Time? Peace to you, bro.
Yeah, man. But
Yo, what up with you, bro? What's going on, Jason?
look, I just want to say this, man. Me and my daughter's mother went to court 6 times. I beat her 6 times, and I did it in Virginia. I'm not sure what county you was in, Uncle Stu. I did mine in Fairfax. But I learned something in the process. I'm gonna say this is a real serious thing I'm gonna tell you. When I finally won the last court case that shut everything down in 2016, we went to court. The final hearing was in 2017. And I finally, it was over. There was no more moves for her to make, no more things she can do. I didn't carve as much space as I can as a father with custody. But it didn't feel like I won, because all of the time, you know what I mean, it took the fight, all the energy, all the reading. Like Fantastic, I didn't use a lawyer neither. Now I did use a lawyer on 2 occasions for consultations, and they're very expensive. So I did do that because I wanted to double check my work. But it was a lot of time sitting in my house, going over briefs, going over law, figuring out my strategy, going through my emails, text messages, cornering this bitch. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of work that goes into that. But I want you brothers to understand something. Business is life, and life is business. Having children is business. Everything you do is business. That's why you got to pay fees and taxes on every goddamn thing you do. You got to have insurances on everything you have, right? Because it's all business. And the reason I'm saying that is because what catches a lot of us up before I go into my strategy is that a lot of us get caught up in the emotions of things. Now I'm gonna say this, and I'm not trying to, pamper to any of you brothers in the chat room, anybody listening. You didn't do anything wrong. You loved her, you married her, you got divorced. You had sex with her, you was rocking with her, it was your girl, you broke up. He didn't do anything wrong. They've turned something natural that happens between two people into an industry. This is business. I've sat in courtrooms and watched white women destroy white men. I've seen it with my own eyes. In fact, fantastic. I've seen a white man in uniform get destroyed by his white wife. This is business. And when I'm going to say something to you about these women is women handling their business. Yes, these fucking hustlers. These are womb hustlers. You understand me? They don't care about family. Because if they did, they will fight for the family. They'll work things out, try to keep things together. They don't care. So if you're dealing with a society that's like that, all right, and you can't argue with me on this, because if you're a passport, bro, what do you guys say all the time? Don't bring them back. Why not? If the women over there are so much better, why can't you bring them back? Why? Because they will take advantage of the law. See, the secret to the world is simple. This is the secret to the world. People do what the fuck they can get away with. And that's what's going on. So it's not personal. It's not something that's emotional. We as men have to change our mindset and how we do things. You see what's happening with Zion. Zion's not taking care of business. Brothers like him are stupid. They're not taking care of business, and they got a fucked up ego because they think because they got some pussy or they smashed a beautiful woman, they winning. They're not looking at the business of things. See, the procreation is supposed to be about legacy. And that's why I will fight for my daughter to the end of time. In fact, I would die for my daughter without blinking an eye. I'll kill you over my daughter, right? But see, it's a problem. As a visiting father, how can you do that if the kid ain't in your house? See, I'm a knuckle dragging patriarch. So I fight for mine, and it was no way in the world I was going to let her mom raise her daughter. My daughter wasn't going to happen. It just wasn't going to happen. I'm going to protect my child. I can't do that if the kid is not in my house. So I went on my voyage. I went on my travel. And one of the first things I did was establish myself in the court. Point one, brothers, put everything in your name. Everything. Keep all your receipts and put everything in your name. What I mean is, if you're paying for childcare, you go to the childcare, you fill out the paperwork, and you put your name on those applications. Anything with the schools, anything, medical, everything. You put everything in your name. This is what's called establishing yourself in the courts. Second, make sure you're in a state that respects parental rights and fraternal rights. In Virginia, you can't take my daughter out of state without my permission. So one of the first things I did was make sure in writing in our custody agreement that she cannot take the kid without a judge court order. That way, if she did, I can call the cops, call Prince William County Police, call what's the other police? I forgot the name of the goddamn police department. But anyway, call the police and tell, hey, look, she ain't supposed to go nowhere. Here's my documentation. And they will tell her, look, she can't go nowhere. You can't take her to Maryland. You can't take her to DC, even though she's 15 minutes away. You can't do it.
Can't take her to North Carolina.
Can't take her nowhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. These are the things that we don't take care of as men as business. This is business. It's the same way you go to your job every day and you make sure shit is tight. I'm talking to all my professional brothers. You do the same thing in your personal life. You have to, because whether you did it as out of wedlock or in wedlock, the laws are going to apply you to the same. As a matter of fact, I really don't have an answer for married brothers because y'all got a whole nother level to deal with than I had to deal with. You know what I mean? I actually was better off having the kid out of wedlock in my situation versus what you guys go through, in the family courts when you get divorced. But I'll leave that alone. And the third thing you have to do is you have to document everything. You can't go to court with your hands tied behind your back. You have to have weapons. You have to have everything. Me, I've always been a financial and communication hoarder. I keep every text message. I got all my cell phones going back to flip phones in a bag somewhere in my closet. You understand me? I have every pay stub and every LES when I was in the military. And I got out of the military in 99. I still have them. So the thing is, every receipt, everything I had, every communication I had. So when she came to court, she couldn't lie. I was able to produce something to counter her lie, putting her in contempt. So this is the war. This is what we're faced with. So the business of black men, and I say this all the time, I have nothing to do with these crackers. I don't rock with these white supremacists and white nationalists. But one thing we can work together on is MRA issues. All right. So when the MRAs got some of the laws adjusted in Texas, this is dealing with the business of things. They capped child support.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good thing. All right. So this is how we got to do things. This is why I'm actually against this getting rid of abortion. No, let them have abortion for a little while longer, because this helps our argument. Okay. We have to get fraternal rights. They want equality, give them equality. Use their weight against them. All right. And watch how this works. You cap child support. This disincentivizes women in that state to go out here and have babies willy-nilly, right? But you want to also tweak child support. And then when you get child support down to where you want it, you outlaw it you only make it for married women. And that's one thing I wish the Republican Party would do. If they pass on these goddamn radical laws in these states, pass that shit. If you want to incentivize marriage and you want to de-incentivize whoring and children out of wedlock, okay. Child support is only for married women. So now you're still going to have women out here who will marry men just to have what? Access to their money. That doesn't go away right away. Okay. So leave that there. Now you've got one problem taken care of. Now we got to adjust, divorce laws. First things first is child custody. Some states are starting to do this. We're starting to have equal opportunity at custody. That needs to be established, period. That helps men who are single or men who are married. Now, once you have some of these things established, now it's time to go ahead and deal with the final fix, and that's dealing with marriage laws. We have women in this country who are claiming to be, equal to men. Some are saying they're better than men. Our women saying they're killing the game. I say, you know what, boo, I believe you. All right, so since you're killing in the game, there's no reason why I should be treated like a fucking old age patriarch in the courtroom. We should be treated as equals. In fact, since you're the breadwinner, why am I not getting the same treatment that women were getting when men were the breadwinner? You see what I'm saying? I'm saying we have to start legal strategies. When you come into the courtroom, you have to step into the courtroom a certain way. All right. Women have 53 jobs in the country. They're making good money. There's no reason why we should be treating men like financial patriarchs in the courtroom, but not giving us any patriarchal control. What I'm saying is that they take all the money from the men, but we have no say in the children. You know what I'm saying? And that's bullshit. That's bullshit. We are here sitting here as the taxpayers of the country. We pay most of the taxes in the country. We donate most of the money to the political system. And for us to have this family court situation is so lopsided against us, and at the same time, women having access to jobs and high-paying jobs just like we do, it's sucker shit. And that's really the direction we should be fighting. We should be fighting to change the situation. Why? Because, like, again, Passport Bro said you can't bring them back. Why? Because we all recognize women are women. And if you bring them back to America, they're going to take advantage of American laws. So the issue really is the laws. That way, if you have a bad woman or a good woman, it doesn't matter. She can't go left on you. She can't take advantage of you. She can't just destroy you. She can't economically destroy you. And we got too many stories out here, too many examples we can point to that shows that that's the case. So the issue is, at the end of the day, and I know a lot of brothers got mad at me when I was on X Channel, and it was me and Bernard Raleigh and a couple of brothers, and they wanted to go in on the women. And I was like, yeah, I know they bitches. I know they womb hustlers. I get it. But the problem is the system. We have to attack the system as men. That takes organization. That takes politics. That takes giving money to the right individuals. That makes our voices heard. Not sitting around arguing with each other, fussing with each other, and claiming that we know more than the other guy. Nah, this is about making it better for everybody else. Why? Because I won, and I saw the problem with the system. Even though I won, I still have a problem with the system. Just because I got through and I won doesn't mean I want Fantastic to go through it. I want Lil Rock in the chat room to go through it. I don't want MOT to ever go through this, because as men, we ain't doing nothing wrong by trying to procreate. And that's what they really criminalized. They've criminalized this shit in the courts now, where if you are a man, like, you basically then rape the woman if you had sex with her. Almost. I mean, that's how they make it seem. Like you did something wrong because you wanted to procreate, or you liked the woman you had sex with her. Sex is an even exchange. So my question, my thing is to the brothers, is like, sometimes we get caught up in these politics. We get caught up in what aboutism and who's right and who's wrong. The truth of the matter is, it's all about power. It's all about leverage. It's all about who can do what. And women are going to take advantage of the system, no matter as long as it exists. So we can keep arguing with each other, debating with each other, talking with each other, until we change the laws that we should have fair, or at least more fair, for men who are paying, most of the taxes, who are the bulk of the military, the bulk of the police force, all the construction. I mean, goddamn, we on some sucker shit where we have a situation that is so lopsided against us, ruining our lives, financially ruining our lives, and doing something like Fantastic just said a minute ago, where this is the shit that we don't ever talk about. The things that we go through as fathers and dealing with the emotions of our kids, and how our kids even disrespect their fathers, or our kids are being alienated from us. We don't even have those discussions like we should. Why? Because it might invoke some kind of pity or emotion. Nah, the manosphere is supposed to be for men. We're supposed to be here to support men and the things that they go through. Even if you make mistakes, all right, brother, this is how you deal with it. This is how you take care of it. This is how you handle it. But at the end of the day, as a consortium of men, I'm gonna shut up on this point. We should be coming together to fix the problems, to create a new environment. This environment is completely unfair. It's completely out of whack. It has nothing to do with patriarchy. And then what I would say to my Christian brothers, whether you white or black, where's your Christianity in the mix? Y'all love pushing that Christianity, moral complex when it came to abortion, but what about when it came to fatherhood? This should have been solved a long time ago, to be honest. So I'll leave it on that.
I will tell you this, Jay Sean, from the married portion, but me and my wife had a separation spat. One of my saving graces was I didn't allow my wife to be a stay-at-home wife. But if I did that, alimony would have kicked in so quick. You get what I'm saying? Because she was, y'all, that's why y'all got to stop saying, I want that stay-at-home wife. Because if she's at home, listen, bro, you are the income. And so if she separates from you, you have to keep up that lifestyle for her. And I promise you right now, most of them judges will always, out of like 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10 times, they're going to give her that check. And also, she has more of an imprinting effect on the child. And any of us who've been in the military or contract will tell you, you gotta get in that time with that kid, because depending on how old your child is, they start asking, well, which parent do you want to go to? But if you also are a parent that goes to your child's games, take them out there and do stuff with them, have some effects with them. I've seen it where some kids, I'm going with dad. No, I'm going with daddy. I'm going with pop, because you're there. You take them places, you do stuff with them. You're actually having an imprinting effect. You got pictures. Shout out to Fantastic. When I see you at the gym with your son, or I see brothers doing stuff with their kids or their daughters, you gotta leave imprints of stuff that you've done. I see white men going everywhere with their kids. So when their kid be saying, hey, where you want to go? I'm going with dad. That's easy.
Yeah.
Black men, you got to do the same thing, man. You got to leave these imprints with your kids, man. Don't just sit there and say, well, I'm just going to leave the child with the mama and let's let her raise them until they get old enough. By that time, they're going to say, well, I'm just going with mommy. I'm going with the mother duck. Don't do that, bro.
BMT, real quick. I just want to say this real quick. So I left something.
Go ahead, bro. I'm just speaking for the married side, bro. Go ahead, bro.
The Christian thing I was pointing out earlier is because you got brothers who are religious and some who are not. But still, if you're a patriarch of any kind, you should be pushing for certain laws. What I'm saying with the Christian thing is, if you go into the Bible, it's the man that gives a woman a bill of divorce, right? The kids go with the father. So my point was, there's a lot of people who push that into their politics, or as a reason for their politics, or to support their political position. And I'm saying, okay, well, what happened to fatherhood? You know what I mean? We offer to all kinds of other things, and using that as a position. The religious thing is a position, but we're not pushing for actual fatherhood. We're not even defending fatherhood or patriarchy at all. We don't even hardly say the word, anymore. How many times you even hear the word patriarchy anymore? You know what I mean? So my point is that, the laws, if men are supposed to be responsible for the kids financially, if men are supposed to be responsible for protecting the kids, the laws should reflect that. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I mean, like, so far, people who was up here talking today, everybody won. So what I'm saying is that there should be a repository of information about the people who have won and the steps that they have taken to actually do win. It's just that this issue shouldn't even be that big of an issue. Like, this really highlights how disorganized men are for real. This very issue of the family is showing how disorganized men are in general when it comes to family related stuff.
Yeah, like they put sex first. A lot of men. A lot of men think they winning because they, like I said, they funning. They out here having a good time. You see them in the club all the time. Trust me, look, I used to be one of those guys back in the day, MOT, in my 20s. You know, I thought I was winning. Girls like you, you know, you can do what you want to do. You know, you got a phone full of numbers. You know what I mean? But that's not handling business. It's actually Trent behavior when you think about it. Because the women came out the party too, right? They got dressed and got dolled up. They came out to the club to look for somebody to please them, to make them happy, to give them entertainment. So it's reciprocal, but that's not handling business. That situation can turn into an 18-year situation. You know what I mean? And that's the thing we always got to keep in mind. There's people out there who happen to be women or looking at ways to attach themselves to people's pocketbooks and, people's wallets. And that could be you. And that's how you always got to think. See, a lot of brothers are not handling business. We're not organized. We don't have, it's kind of one of the things I hear brothers talk about all the time, especially when it comes to Keisha, you know, about her failings and the things she's supposed to be doing and she's not doing. My question to brothers is, all right, if they came to the table tomorrow, what they going to adhere to? Do we have a code of conduct that they want to adhere to? Do we have, you know what I'm saying, like just laws and ways that when you dealing with an Arab man, make this make more sense. When you're dealing with Arab men, you know what you're dealing with. They have a reputation that precedes them. When you're dealing with Italian men, fat women know not to go over there. They have a reputation that precedes them. They don't fuck with fat women, period. All right? Same thing when it comes to Indian men. So my question is, what is your reputation, black man? What is our reputation? And that right there is our responsibility. We got to have a code of conduct and have an adherence to each other. You understand me? We got to stand up for each other. We got to have each other's back. And the best way to split a black man from another black man is to put a fat ass in his face.
I agree, man. I agree. I mean, like after this, we just got to get the repository of information kind of together so that way people can know what to do if they find themselves in these ungodly circumstances. Because I know there's people like my cousin, first cousin, he was married, and it's a whole new level of shit when you have kids and the child support shit again in Mississippi, and he moved to a Midwestern state, and things were all of a sudden different. Like they didn't care. I know judges down there, prosecutors down there, going through this type of shit. People work for the system who go through this type of shit. Don't even get a fair shake from the system that they even work for. So it's like, dude, at some point, we got to be able to get politically organized and involved to at least fix this issue.
Right.
If there's not any other issue that you think that you don't need to fix, this is one of them. Because otherwise, I would already have kids right now if I didn't fear going through that. I've seen people go through this shit as a cop, in the military, bounty hunter. Like most of this shit, bounty hunter shit was child support motherfuckers going to another state. Shit's crazy.
Yeah. What's up, She? Yeah.
What's going on, fellas? Yeah, I mean, the crazy part about all this, it's more like a talking point in this space about child support. I mean, Jay Sean, we all talked about this before. I seen my uncle go through this. That's why I didn't have kids before I got married. You know, there were some couple of scares. You know, hey, condoms are not 100 all the time. I get it. Even to the point of the so-called pull-out king, like you playing Russian roulette. You got to suffer the consequences. But knowing all, like, you already know the laws because your uncle, I've literally seen my uncle, both of my uncles, one who was married and had a kid and the one who wasn't married. Both of them came out with the same outcome. You know, the one who was married, he was doing the right thing. His wife moved to another state just to, you know, spite him. And he was like, well, if you move and leave my kids, I'm not paying child support. I told my uncle, I said, I'm laughing. I'm like, I think I was 12 or something. I'm like, that hurt you. That don't hurt her. Cause she gonna get that money regardless. Like, and a lot of guys think that hurts the woman, but it don't. Even to the point of a situation where, like my other uncle who wasn't married, he did everything right. He paid his child support. Ended up losing his job because, you know, he had some medical issues and he couldn't work. I told this guy when his ex girlfriend got remarried, married somebody, I said, go down there and tell them that she's married so they can reduce your child support. He didn't listen. You don't know what you're talking about. Turned around when I told him, I said, hey, dude, I'm looking at this stuff in the news. I'm hearing about guys talk about this stuff. You need to go down there and tell them that you don't have a job. They'll reduce your child support too. Dude stayed like that for 5 years. And when he finally ended up getting, what is that? Not workers' comp. When they retire you, basically what it is, he got retired early. It's Social Security. And by him getting his Social Security and retiring early and stuff like that, he had a lot of money like that was owed to him because from the day you filed, they went back. He was owed over like $100,000. Don't you know that when they got ready to give him that money, he had to pay $40,000, almost $50,000 to his baby mama. She got a $30,000 check off the rip, and then she like $1,500 a month until he got out of the rear. Like that was a situation. I'm like, you could have avoided all that if you'd have did what I told you from the jump. But it's a lot of these old heads are hard head, and a lot of these young guys, instead of you listen to somebody, like I always say, I don't have to tell you that I'm an expert in this for you to believe. Go fact check. You know, if I tell somebody about life insurance, something, I'm sending you the Google search. Google is in everybody's phone. It's accessible for everybody, but we play dumb all the time, or we just don't want to listen till it's too late. I mean,
can I ask
it's
you a
just crazy.
question that was in the chat room? You know, listen, there was a question in the chat room. The brother, somebody said, well, "How is winning defined?" You know, and I could just tell you this, man. I think being a human being, part of our mandate is to procreate. Now I know it's not for everybody. Everybody don't want to be a parent. That's cool. I can respect that. If you don't want to have kids and you don't want to be a father, then don't have kids. Cool. But for those of us who are going to be fathers, there's nothing wrong with procreating. Procreating is part of humanity. It's part of keeping the race going, keeping the world going. To me, winning is having dominion over my children. I've been fortunate where I called all the shots. You understand? I didn't have a child and then have some knucklehead or some crazy chick running that kid's life, making decisions, and I gotta constantly come over here and pick up the pieces. And I don't want to deal with none of that. I got to have dominion over my child as a father. Of course, I talked to my mother about certain things, but at the end of the day, I had the last decision on it. That to me is winning. There's no difference than running a business. That's what winning is in a business. Having dominion over things, having control over things. It's not just earning the money. It's also about how you earn the money, how you're situated as a businessman. It's no different than being a father. As a man, I want to have dominion over my house and over my children. And that to me is winning. That's the definition of winning to me. And I feel sorry for my brothers who are out here being, quote, I'm doing air quotes right now, being visitors to their own fucking kids. You know what I mean? That shit that's so upside down. It goes against nature. As men, how you going to protect the kid that's not in your home? That makes no sense to me. So I feel for my brothers who are in that situation. That's why I say we got to attack the laws. If you want to have a patriarchal attitude, bring it to the political sphere. The MRAs, the white boys, they look, I give them credit, even though some of them were racist as fuck, but at least they got the right attitude. They're organizing and helping to change laws. All right, because they're trying to change the environment. And the truth to be told, a lot of them that started the MRA shit 20, 30 years ago are not even going to benefit from it. They already went through the situation and got washed. You know what I mean? They already got fucked over. But they're changing the situation for men coming after them, for their sons and their grandsons. And if we're not doing that as black men, whether you have kids or not, then you're out of pocket. You're not thinking about the right things. You're not doing the right thing. We need to organize. It's good to have a space where you come and talk and put this shit into the zeitgeist, let the world put the world on notice. That's cool. But if we're not going to organize on a local level wherever we are and help each other out, then we just wasting time talking. And in fact, we're just bitching.
And that's what I meant by like the actual talking about the issue. And there was a point like in that clip where Mr. Fantastic was actually referencing. I'm like, look, it's either you got a court date or you're not. It's either you're taking action or you're not, because you just can't keep coming out here and keep talking about the same issue. It's like the reparation shit. everybody is talking about the shit, but ain't nobody taking no action on anything. No sides taken, no organizing, no nothing. But everybody wants the end result of organizing without actually organizing, and we just got to get out of that because there are things out here, regardless of how people think. There are things out here that affect you every day that you actually want a voice on, but these people have put so much investment into not giving a shit about the system, but expecting the system to actually represent you on some pimp hoe shit. Like, dude, that ain't how democracy works. You have to participate. You have to put these things on there. I guarantee you, you put some of these things on the actual change and modify your constitution. It don't take that many signatures. It really don't.
It doesn't.
It don't take that many signatures. That stuff can be on the actual thing where everybody get to actually vote for. That's why I say this is a local issue. Child support is a local issue.
And look at the laws they're passing right now. They're passing crazy laws in Idaho, Iowa every day.
Oh yeah.
I mean, so this is all about organizing, like you said, on the local level where you are, and also being active. I went to court with 3 different brothers, you know, to help them with their situation, you know, to help them strategize, whatever the case might be. And 2 of them got positive results. The third one, we had the wrong strategy. And the reason why we had the wrong strategy is because when we was in the courtroom, there was shit he didn't tell me. You know what I mean? It was things that, you know, saying he was, I guess, ashamed of, whatever you want to call it. They didn't, you know, he didn't divulge. If I had known he did certain things, I wouldn't have told him to do, you know, X, Y, and Z. So, you know, but that's what I'm saying. Like, when you meet brothers and you got a chance to sit down with them, and if you can help them, help them. All right, fatherhood is very important. We have to counter this single motherhood shit. We have to. We have to, or the fucking world gonna fall apart. Yeah, you know what I mean? The world's literally falling apart before our eyes, man. We as fathers are the only ones that can save this shit. Because even in single situations, single fathers are proven to be the better parents. You know what I'm saying? The kids are coming out well. So the main component, the main ingredient is fathers. And I know women don't want to hear that, but guess what? MOT, I don't give a fuck what they think. I don't care what they want.
Yeah, me neither, man. I've always moved like that. You know, I know how to treat people, but at the end of the day, with these type of situations and issues about the future, I want to be responsible for that.
Right.
All the way responsible for that. And I just don't want. A lot of people just don't understand, man. Like, bro, like there's so many things out here that is actually you can actually affect. And once I started learning how these things work, so that way I'm not worried about what money is going to what country and all that kind of stuff. It's a different pool of money. They signed an agreement to do that. And it's not like if they didn't send the money to Ukraine or Israel or Pakistan or India that they was going to be spending the shit here in the United States. It's not true. Like, they spend a lot of money for world peace. And just because they're not spending money on world peace doesn't mean more money going to be getting spent on you. It's not how it works. No, the country has a business to run.
Right.
Which is,
Right.
you know, keeping everybody at war with everybody else.
Right.
But it's you know, it's the State Department's job. You know, people don't understand the State Department's job, but yeah, that's what it is. It's just that we can have so much power collectively if everybody just understood what was going on. And people are like, oh, you for Biden, blah blah blah. I'm like, no. I read both of the actual plans, and I picked a side. It's like, if you want to see somebody win the NBA championships, somebody's coming from the East, somebody's coming from the West, and they're going to play for the championship. There is no central division that don't play basketball any other time of the year, but they're going to come in at game 6 and have a chance at winning everything on a one-to-one basis. It's not even how it works. So we understand this for sports, but we don't understand this for politics and power.
I don't understand it, because the natural wanting of being a man is to be in power. That's why I've always talked power. I know a lot of brothers don't like hearing that shit, but that's what I'm about as a man. I'm about power. I want to change the dynamics. I see that black men are out of power, but one thing I know about black men, we're the most creative, innovative men on the planet. I'm over here in Germany, and every time I travel outside of Germany to other countries, our culture, black male Negro culture, is dominating.
Everywhere.
The problem with us is that we don't organize. We don't have a singular focus. We don't have 2 or 3 things we agree on and just fight for that shit. You know what I mean? And I'm talking about business. I don't care what mama say. I don't care what my sisters say. I don't care what my aunts. Fuck all that. Don't let them talk. You handle business. And you get with each other and you handle business. If you look at any successful group of men in the world, like I'll be in Dubai in December, and I've been just doing some homework on, what I'm gonna do when I get there, right? MOT. So I'm looking at all this shit that these Arab men be doing together. And you know what I mean? And then I correlate that to all the things that we do together as black men. And most of the shit we do to black men it circles around pussy.
Crazy.
Or stunting on each other. You know what I mean? There's no real camaraderie. We have to take the responsibility for that. You don't have to like each other, we don't have to love each other. But I mean, personally, but we have to have enough respect for our black maleness, our black malehood, that and understand that we're going to have a reputation that precedes us in the world, whether you like it or not. Whether you like it or not, I don't care if you liberal, conservative, whatever you like, whether you like it or not. You come from a certain group of men. And that group of men is going to have a representation, just like every other group of men on the planet.
Yeah, man.
And we're responsible for that.
I'm really kind of sick of the bitch ass nigga being like the fucking the representative for men as well, man. It's some fucking stupid shit.
Yeah. So I'm like, look, man, I'm gonna hop off of here. MOT. I want you brothers to go out here and get your paper together, start learning how to work with each other, start learning how to fight for each other, at least socially. Start there. It costs you nothing to go on the internet to have each other's back. It costs you nothing to get on the internet and promote black male patriarchy. It costs you nothing to do that. That's just talk. But then on your local apparatus between you and your homies, your men, or if your boys on some bullshit, they bitch led and all they care about is making Keisha happy every weekend. Cool. Let them go do that. Go find some other men that's on what you want. And y'all start working with the other men, groups of men, whether they're Asian and white, and y'all start getting in front of judiciary boards, just like the white boys did for me in Virginia. The white boys, the MRAs in Virginia, had me in front of a judiciary board in Richmond because of some shit they had cooked up. I had nothing to do with it. They just invited me. I went down there. I spoke my piece, talking about the system. These are the guys that are getting things done, and they don't have enough help. And the same sucker shit I'm talking about is going with us, MOT, believe it or not, is happening amongst white men too.
Oh yeah, I see it all the time.
Got him distracted too.
I see it all the time. Like, bro, they don't know that the new black community is rural America. They don't cover that shit at all.
Right.
They don't cover that shit. Like, they have become the black community of like the 90s.
It's kind of like what Senator Byrd said. These white niggas, right?
Yeah. Just because they way out there, man. Look, man, hip hop on all the radio everywhere. The kids looking all crazy.
Mm-hmm.
They don't even understand that those people fell off by a long shot.
MOT. A lot of brothers don't know who Senator Byrd is. Senator Byrd used to be a senator, ex-KKK, used to be a senator from West Virginia that a lot of Democrats loved. And a lot of people that love them, especially the presidents in the White House right now. So that should tell you how they operate. But my point is that he once came out.
No, he was a cold-blooded Reagan Democrat.
I know.
Cold-blooded Reagan.
Exactly. So Senator Byrd once said to the white people in West Virginia, he called them white niggas. I need to look this up. You know what I mean? Because he knows this is what he's talking about. He's talking about, these retrobates that live in rural America. And thank you, Doug. He was a grand wizard. And so that's what MOT's talking about, man. There's a lot of downtrodden and talking about the black community. There's a lot of fuckery in the black community, man. But y'all really don't know what fuckery is until you go into the middle of the country. You really don't know. I'm telling you right now,
man, I was riding my 75 miles away from the big city, bro.
Oh man, I was riding my motorcycle through West Virginia and I was going to Gary, Indiana, and I stopped in one of those one light towns, MOT, to get gas. Yeah. And I didn't even finish filling up my tank. There was just 3 white boys on the back of a pickle truck at the gas station, looking at me with that stare.
Oh yeah, man. Like if you're from the South, you know what the look is, man. That look of disdain, and it's like, just give me a fucking reason.
Dirty overalls, missing teeth, and they just gave me the look. I gave them the head nod, like, "How you doing?" And they didn't even respond to that. They just looked at me with so much to think. Man, I ain't finished filling my tank. I got the fuck out of there. Yeah. So I know exactly what you're saying, but thanks for letting me come up, man. It was a good build. And we need to have more discussions about this kind of stuff because we do need to organize our brothers. And even if you're not a father, you have a stake in this, because the truth of the matter is most black men financially can't do nothing with or for each other because of child support, because of alimony. You know what I mean, it's a financial issue.
It is, and it always have been. and like look, like people can't invest in themselves properly. They can't go get the training because they're putting all this work hours in at a job. Hey, I get it on that level.
Right.
There's a lot of people who could have been skilled up and they could have been running shit, but that child support shit really holds a person back. XC, thank for the 499 super chat. Great stream, MOT, much success for everyone. Stay the course. Yeah, man. So this type of direction that the channel is going to be going in. So that way we can talk about realistic issues and move on and actually do some things with it, because there's a lot can be done here, and I just don't want to talk about women or down on women. Like I know the ugliest woman got way more options than the actual dude who got shit together. So listen, man.
Brothers can't go out here. Brothers can't go out here and start businesses like they're supposed to. Brothers can't go out here and buy real estate like they're supposed to, or they can't hold on to things like they're supposed to because of this issue. We have to get disciplined in this issue. All right, because if not, you the opportunities that you probably don't know you even would have had, you know what I mean, will never arrive. You feel me? Like as you go on about your life and you know you meet brothers in a different universe without these issues, that would have been business opportunities. Those would have been business relationships that might have evolved. You feel me? But this lessons on a probability situation, because a lot of us are strapped for cash because of what the courts are doing to us. So we got to change that shit.
Yeah. And I want to say something too. Like the crazy part with me being a stepfather, the one thing that I kind of broke in the household was that division between the baby daddy and my wife. All that they going back. If the dude got something to say, he need to say it directly to me. I made myself be present that, hey, I'm in your kid's life. We need to, work this out as men. I approached them at that, after a while, all that stuff died, but the whole thing of it was, I approached him as a man. He respected coming off the back. We had conversations. There was no division between the kids. I don't know if many guys can say this, but I never had that you ain't my daddy moment, because there was an understanding that, hey, I'm not your dad. I'm here to raise you. But at the same time, me and your dad, we talk. So it's not nothing that you can say to me that won't get back to him directly. I had an issue with my daughter. I called her dad on the phone and said, talk to your daughter. She was shocked because, it's the thing. A lot of guys don't have those type of conversations. I mean, of course they die over time, bull crap. But if they stay relevant, that woman can't pitch all against each other and the kids can't pitch you against each other. So I'm talking about, if you go this route, understand, you got to be the bigger man. Don't be like, man, I don't want nothing to deal with that guy, or he did you like this. A woman can tell you anything. This guy was a horrible man. Hey, man, do your research for yourself. Don't just stand here. Anybody tell you something, just believe cold-heartedly everything. Even going into this child support situation, I told my wife, I said, hey, that's that man kids. You need to see his kids. Because like I told her, if you do him like that, you'll do the same thing to me. I want nothing to do with you. Because you got to look at this stuff from the jump. All these guys don't play that it'll never happen to me game, because it will. Most guys sit there, he's a bum. My wife or my girlfriend would never do that to me before marriage. And you in the same boat. She got 3 baby daddies. All y'all at the graduation or something looking at each other like, dang, she got you too? Like, why play these games?
Yeah. And you know what? I want to say something. Shout out to my brother New in the chat room. He made a good point. Discipline is definitely part of the arithmetic. Watching, who you get pregnant. But here's the problem. As much as I can come down on a brother for being reckless with a seed, there's still plenty of black men who weren't. They were in long-term relationships. Or some even got married and still ended up dealing with the court system. So at the end of the day, you can't, whether you do it the right way, you find you're a good woman, say you were smashing, I don't know, I'm trying to think of somebody who broke bad. You were fucking with Aisha Curry, right? Susie Homemaker, everything was cool. You know, 10 years from now, 12 years from now, she might want to start popping her ass on IG. So you know what I mean? Like, you can't count for all of this. You can't account for the changes in the human beings that you have sex with, but you can change is that women abuse. Okay, whether they married or not, they will abuse the system. You can have a good woman today, 10 years later, she could be on some bullshit, and then you're breaking up with her or whatever, was through divorce or through just a regular breakup. It's a long-term relationship, and now you're going through it with the courts. And the courts are going to let her drag you. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying. So it doesn't really matter if you're being reckless. I'm not even going to deal with that part. What I'm dealing right now is dealing with
changing the system regardless of what happens.
So when things go left, you know what I mean? You don't get left out here fucked up in the game. That's what this is about. This is business, brothers. This is not emotional. This is not about, you know, being better or than the other guy, not making the mistake the other guy made. This is not high school. This is business. This is about having a platform on a baseline, so when things happen, you know, you don't get fucked over. You don't get raked over the coals. And I don't want to hear, well, you should have chose better. That's not dealing with reality. And in fact, that's my problem. One of my main issues with the manosphere is that as men, you come to this space and motherfuckers have no compassion for you. None. Now, again, if you come in this space and you fucking Future, yeah, fuck you. You know what I mean? Yeah, you can't come in this space like Nick Cannon on some Nick Cannon shit. Nah, fuck you. Whatever happens to you. But brothers going through regular relationships, dealing with regular situations, and ending up getting, you know, 18 years of indulgent servitude. Nah, hell nah. That's not right. That's not right. At the same time, having the authority as a father undermined too. You know what I mean? That's not right. So we got to deal with all of that. It's not just dealing with the business of it, it's also dealing with that authority piece too. So we have to deal with that, and we have to organize to deal with that.
All right, man. Hey, man, we're gonna have to leave it there, man. But that's why you have the conversation, so there could be conversation, action. So that way, when you see somebody coming up, like imagine if you ran into somebody who wasn't part of the manosphere and they started talking all this game shit about how much they run women and all that shit. You look at the dude like he lost his mind. Why? Yeah. You've been here 5 or 6 years and you know this dude's full of shit, right? This is what you have to do to all these issues. You have to stop all of this double talking and speaking and all this shit, because the only thing they're going to do is re-weaponize these dudes' inability to take action. Because if you take an actual action, things would be different. They'd be like, okay, I tried, I lost. All right, man. So why don't you move to this state right here and start this shit all over again?
Yeah.
That's way better than situations.
And then let's say one last thing before I go. I got custody of my daughter and went through that whole thing, right? And I had a conversation with my homeboy. He's married with 5 kids. And he was surprised to hear me say what I'm going to say next. If I had my daughter by the wrong woman and she actually had the power over my daughter and I was being disrespected day in, day out, I would just walk away from the whole situation, because part of who I am is I'm a patriarch and I'm a man, and I'm going to be respected. You understand? And that's what really this conversation should really be about creating an environment where as a man, you're respected. You're working, you're paying taxes, you're doing what you're supposed to do. You're trying to be a father. You shouldn't be disrespected because of that. That's crazy. It's a form of abuse. You know what I mean? And that's what needs to stop.
Yeah, no doubt. But
no doubt.
Like,
so anyway,
people start talk all this crazy shit about, oh, who you vote for. I'm like, bro, listen. Did you read the actual ballot? I guarantee you there's shit that you do agree on, you don't agree on, and all the kind of other shit. And all this type of, if I don't get no reparations, I'm not going to participate shit. Dude, I'm telling you, man, people don't start putting hands on people when they start hearing that type of foolishness. We're going to treat you like a paid op. We're going to follow you outside and we're going to beat the shit out of you. Because you shouldn't be hulking the fuck out doing some dumb shit like that. If you don't know that there's already a reparation bill that's passed already, if you're trying to blame Jim Clyburn but ain't trying to hold no fucking conservatives responsible, we're going to treat you as a paid op. We're gonna run that foot patrol on your motherfucking ass. we gotta start motherfucking getting these politically ignorant dudes from fucking venturing into politics without knowing what the fuck they're talking about. It's too easy to get these economically compromised people to come out here and fucking disrupt shit. I'm sick of these fucking disruptors who don't know what the fuck's going on. It's very easy. The shit's Googleable. Hell, it's even fucking chat GBTable. All you gotta do is ask the question. They get an answer for you. Historically. So that's just where we at, man. You know, I'm gonna change the title to it like a grown-up conversation about the child support issue and the actual things we need to do after this, because we need to go after the winners. So that way, a repository of information. So that way, everybody ain't got to come out of their pocket for 5 grand, 15 grand, 20 grand. This is the story. This is how this shit happened. These are the battles that's been fought, and this is how this dude concluded it. Because some people just be like, man, this shit's financial. I already ain't got my financial shit together. Now let's just spread this apathy to everybody. You know, I feel bad. Everybody else gonna be, man, fuck that. No, 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 we're not doing that type of goofy ass shit, man.
That's right.
So
That's right.
I want to thank all my guests for coming up, especially Miss Fantastic.
And
I guess, go ahead, she go ahead.
well, I was gonna say real quick, like with Corey Holcomb, say with all that joking that Corey does, Corey found a way to deal with child support the best. If people look it up, you'll understand what I'm talking about. But overall, no, I'm just gonna say real quick this. What Jay Sean said, I'm married, 17 years, my wife. People change. I always tell guys, you know, I don't fully trust nobody. Even me and Gabe had this argument. Oh, you don't trust your wife. She never cheated on you. I fully never trust. My wife, I let her listen to the whole thing. She said, I fully never trust nobody neither. I'm like, dude, why would you fully trust somebody? And then when they break your heart, you can like, oh, that's how these emotional dudes start with the crying and oh, I can't live my life. Nah, my life is way more precious than any woman. I'm not going that route. I'm not advising no like the craziness, dude. When it comes down to it, Gold Professor said it best in his 9 laws of self-government. Law number 3, apply selfishness. If you don't care about yourself, nobody else will. You got to apply selfishness to benefit you, you know. And that first law of discipline, a lot of guys fall off the wagon with that first. If you ain't got discipline in a lot of stuff, you already failing. But I'm in with that.
All right, cool. I want to thank all y'all for coming through. I'm the man tomorrow. Make sure you like the video on the way out. And you guys have a really nice rest of y'all day. Peace.